Ace Race is a popular staple of the MCC roster, with it being both simple to play and difficult to master. In fact, racing games are very popular in general like Mario Kart, but the difference between Ace Race and Mario Kart is that you can play Mario Kart whenever you want, with lots of courses with items to help worse players keep up and make the game feel competitive the whole time. But in Ace Race, it is only played at best once a month, with only one map and one chance to do well. So that begs the question, what makes a good Ace Race map? I'm the Minecraft event analyst, and today I'm going to be breaking down what makes a good Ace Race map, and ranking the current maps we have in the new Ace Race style. To clarify, the maps I will be analysing will be Turtle Run, Yeti Set Go, Clouds 2, the newest Ace Race map Python's Palace, and Dark Descent from the Ender Cup. First, let's go over some objectives for an Ace Race map, and then go on to ways they are implemented afterwards. The most important thing for any racing map is to make sure it is actually fun to play, but more specifically, fun for all skill levels, which for MCC I would categorise into 4 skill levels, which are players that typically fall into the ranges of 1st to 10th, 11th to 20th, 21st to 30th, and 31st to 40th. This means you need to have difficult shortcuts to reward players who are more mechanically skilled, a simple and easy to understand route for new players, and multiple routes and easier shortcuts to help players catch up for all skill levels. Another way to make sure the game is fun is to include different types of movement throughout the map, to help the sections feel fresh and not repetitive, which was a common issue seen in Foot Race, Ace Race's predecessor. Whilst fun is still important, competitiveness cannot be overlooked in an event like MCC, as you want your performance to feel impressive and rewarding appropriately, which means avoiding things like RNG that would make a win feel less impressive due to it being down to luck. Now we have outlined the key aspects of a good Ace Race map, I want to compare some of the specific sections in different maps to show what examples of good and bad map design are. First, I want to talk about the Elytra sections, and I want to mention the opening Elytra section of Turtle Run. It's a simple glide round a mountain, with a single alternate route going through the mountain. The issue with this section is that the mountain path is noticeably slower, which isn't great for the map's design, as it means the simple, easier route is the optimal path, which means everyone will be doing the same path with little variance, which makes it repetitive and hard to gain placements. An example of a better Elytra section is this Winter Mountain section towards the end of Yeti Set Go. The standard route is similar to the Turtle Run one, but the difference with this section is that there is an Elytra tech you can do at the end of the map, skipping this green jump pad, which helps create a gap in skill between the lower skill players and those who typically place in the top half, which helps create some variance in routes and give opportunities for players to overtake others. However, the main thing that makes this section better is that there is a very difficult skip, which was done by Cubfern when the map came out, which hasn't been explored much since the Elytra skip method is very consistent and seems to be at a similar time to the hard skip, but to my knowledge, the skip hasn't been attempted since the map debuted, so there is still lots of possibility that this route is faster, which means there is lots of room for development, which makes the section not feel stale. Another section I want to talk about is the swimming sections. The swimming sections are probably my least favourite in general, due to them often being very linear with little variance. One of my favourite swimming sections though was actually the one in Python's Palace, as it was very open and the fastest route was not very clear, which led to experimentation and variance giving opportunities to overtake other players. However, the only downside is that it is very dark, which means it is hard to see the path on your first time doing the map. A swimming section that I don't like very much is the Dolphin Jump section from Dark Descent. The section definitely seems fun at first, with jumping out of the water being just a pretty fun mechanic in general, but when you take a look at it from a map design standpoint, it isn't actually that good, as it only has one skip in the section, which was done by Fruit, which is slightly faster and skips the fun dolphin jumps, but other than that, it's just a straight line, which does not give much opportunity for catching up and gaining places. In fact, I'm not a big fan of swimming sections in general, for that reason, as it's hard to really gain placements unless someone gets lost, which isn't very fun to lose placements, as it doesn't feel deserved as the lost player. Elytra sections are also mainly quite simple, and is another one of my least favourite sections for similar reasons, but I do feel that both are important to keep in the game, as they help create variety and make the sections feel different and dynamic, which help make the game feel fresh and fun. Trident sections blend in with the regular running and jump pad heavy sections, so I won't talk about them separately, but I do want to mention the Tridents in general, as they are a contentious part of Ace Race due to them often feeling buggy and unresponsive. The Tridents use an auto-launch feature in MCC until MCC Rising 3, which caused lots of confusion due to the players trying to use them like normal Tridents and letting go too early, but hopefully with the Tridents going back to vanilla mechanics, people enjoy them more. One of my favourite sections in all of Ace Race is this Mushroom one and Clouds 2. It has all the aspects of a good race map, a simple and easy to understand route for inexperienced players, lots of different paths and options like jump pads and areas to trident from, as well as simple speed jumps, and the section also has a more difficult but rewarding skip by going on top of the mushroom, which introduces a good risk versus reward element that will greatly help those who complete the skip to gain more placements, which feels deserved and rewarding. The other maps also have sections like this one, which I think are really good, like the ending of Turtle Run, the Ice River in Yeti Set Go, the Drip Leaf section in Dark Descent, and the start of Python's Palace. So now I've gone over some sections and given my explanations for what makes a good and bad map, I thought it would be interesting if I created my own Ace Race map out of the existing sections to see what in my opinion is the best Ace Race map that could be created with already existing sections before I then rank the current maps. I would start the map with the opening of Python's Palace, until you get to the swimming section, in which there will be a launch pad, and it will launch you to this jump pad and slime section from Dark Descent, where you will keep going through the fans until you reach the swimming section, which will become the swimming section in Python's Palace once again. Afterwards, you will do both the Ice River and Elytra sections in Yeti Set Go like normal, but then land at the Trip Loop section from Dark Descent just past the slime. But at the Elytra Gate, it then changes to Clouds 2, with the glide into the Mushroom section until you reach the launch pad into the Tube, which will then send you instead into this cave section from Turtle Run, and from there, you'll continue on the newer Turtle Run map until you get to the ending. The map would be 3 laps, as I think that is the sweet spot for the number of laps, with 4 laps making the race feel repetitive and short, whilst the 2 laps in Python's Palace felt hard to really learn the map, but it might feel better when it's played more often. Without wasting any more time, my rankings for the Ace Race maps are Dark Descent in 5th, Yeti Set Go in 4th, Python's Palace in 3rd, Turtle Run in 2nd, and Clouds 2 in 1st. Dark Descent is my least favourite map despite being the most visually appealing, as the fans did feel very intuitive with them pushing you back, and there weren't a lot of hard skips, or any skips really, which just made the race feel very simple and it made it hard to catch up. I put Yeti Set Go in 4th, which I found surprising at first as I really enjoyed watching this map when it came out, but with it being such a short map, it feels very repetitive now that it has been played a few times. Python's Palace came 3rd, mainly because it's new, and it did feel weird with it only having 2 laps, but I think it definitely has a lot of potential, and we will see how it will feel when it gets played more in the future. There isn't much separating Turtle Run and Clouds 2, as I think they are both amazing maps, with not many sections I would actually get rid of, and a lot of the sections I haven't mentioned were very close to being in my best possible map, like the waterfall sections on both maps. But the reason Clouds 2 reigns supreme for me is that it is a better length race, with it being 3 laps instead of 4. So what makes a good Ace Race map? A map that has different options and paths, multiple chances to catch up on game placements, skips that feel rewarding of skill, simple routes for new and inexperienced players, visually appealing graphics, and above all else, it needs to be fun and enjoyable for all skill levels. That's a lot of things to keep in mind, and making a perfect race map is probably impossible, but I think it's fair to say that the Nox crew is pretty good at it, with Block Wars being the only other large event to make a race game that is successful without major flaws. Is Ace Race perfect? No. But it is definitely improving with every time it is played, and I think that eventually we will get a map that is very close to perfect. I've been the Minecraft Event Analyst signing out. Goodbye.